Hi again. So I think is going to do a few more little jobs underneath the bay here just to get it all located and know where everything fit in. I think what I'm going to do is next step is the turbo intake. Turbo intake back there, come out along the front, down the side, down the chassis, and then it will sit underneath the bumper in front of the wheel arch in here. Now I've only got a few bits and pieces here from parts from the old one, a few new bits, a few bits that I've had laying around. I'm hoping I can make it all with the bits that I got, otherwise I'll have to order new stuff in. So yeah, I'm going to get placing them in, cutting them up and see what I can make with what I've got. So as it happens, I have just about got enough material to make it. So I've got the air filter on the bottom, modify this mounting slightly, and I'll put another strengthening bracket across to here. I can use two of these 90s in the silicone to the end, and then I've got a piece left over here which I can cut off at the correct angle just to get these two lined up down in there. So I have got enough. Is because the silicone is slightly tighter on space than it was, rather than having alley pipe, so it would be better I think in alley, but for the time being I can just get that fitted up, and it's only the intake at the end of the day for the turbo, so not critical. I think I'll just run for that for now, and then later down the line I can swap that out for some aluminium bends in there if I want to. But yeah, I'll get this cut up now, this one cut down, welded onto the end of this pipe, get this mount made up. So that is the turbo hose fitted, like cut up to weld onto there, onto the shape, brackets welded on to hold it in there, air filter underneath. So that is, yeah, that's it. I'm definitely going to redo it at a later point in time, just to allow a bit more space, mainly around this bend. But this will work, so it's fine. So now I just need to get a hole from here to here, just for some ventilation. And then I think that will be all the bits and pieces I need to get finished done on this side of the bay. Then it'll be a case of taking it all apart, cleaning it all up, because there's like dust and bits and pieces over it, bleed the clutch out, and then put it all back together. That's the bracket off. The one that sits over the gearbox mount bolts up into the chassis and sort of the wheel arch, or the wheel turret behind there. Made modifications here to fit the power steering reservoir. Little bracket obviously for the wiring, and then the bracket that will support the mounts for the breather box and all the sort of map sensor, things like that. So yeah, so I don't need to do any more modification to this, so I'm going to give it a clean up, primer, paint, and then that will be ready to go back on the car. While I've got that off and I've got access, this is the gear selection cable bracket. Bolts onto the gearbox hold the cables. Now I intend to redo the inside linkage, so while I'm at it I'm going to modify this to make it a bit better fitting, and you can see I've cut it down in the past, just to give a bit of different angle on it and things like that. What I'm going to essentially do is the clutch line now can be removed from it, and this front clip can come back about 3 centimeters, allowing the cable to fit in, and it will just allow a bit of a slightly better routing of the cable, not much but a little bit, and it will just align with the turret a lot better. And then I say inside I'll redo the gear linkage, but that'll be way later down the line. Obviously, yeah, the gear selection was okay before, but you could easily miss a gear if you're going a bit too quick or something like that. So I'm just trying to bolt it all up and get it all nice and firm and secure. So yeah, so I'm going to cut this down. I say about 3 centimeters, I think, is where I need to be moving it to. Only this front one. And yeah, so I'll cut that down, get it welded back up, and that can all be painted at the same time then as the bracket. So a quick test fit before I weld it up. So this has moved forward a good 2.5 centimeters. It was right back here, and then it made the bend a little bit more awkward. So it fits on now with all the cable linkages. So actually there's a nice amount of movement, forward, backward, for all the gears. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. It's in the right place. I say I'll have to do inside the car, but I'll make that a job all on its own. But yeah, so I'm going to take that off now, weld it up, get it nice and secure. Maybe a little bit of a space, like another bracket on it, just to add a bit more strength. Although I might not need it, depends where I can get the welds. And yeah, so I'm going to take that off, and then get everything cleaned up and primed. So just a quick coat of etch primer on the bare metal. Haven't gone too crazy. I'm not looking for any sort of brilliant finish, just enough to protect it. Just give it a key up with just a bit of sandpaper. Give it a quick spray. I'll let that dry for sort of 10 minutes, and I'll get some colour on it. While I'm at it, the tops of these mounts were a little bit crusty, so I've just took the worst off the rust. I'm going to just give them a bit of a prime now as well. Made a little basic shield just to stop the worst of any overspray. Just a touch up really. So I'll get that done as well. So that's 2 coats applied. Just going to let that set a little bit, and then I'll get some lacquer on it. And there they are, all done. We have 2 coats of lacquer now, so I just need to let them set, or let them sit overnight I think now, just to harden off. But yeah, that's all done. So while I was waiting for that to dry, what I've done is just I've got the O-rings now for the clutch. So the clutch is in there, that's bled. I'm getting no leaks whatsoever, so that's good. Clutch pedal feels like it should do, so that's all bled out. I'm just working through the list that I've got of some of the bits and pieces, just to get it on the floor before I start doing sort of wiring, things like that. All simple stuff really. So I got a breather vent pipe. I'm going to wrap the heater pipes because they are just here, obviously down the back. So I'm just going to put some. I got some leftover exhaust wrap. I'm probably just going to wrap those up just to help protect those a little bit. Yeah, just got to bleed the brakes out. Obviously easier when it's jacked up. Run some alternator power because obviously with it down the front. I could just leave the wire like that as it is, to be fair. It works fine. I'm just going to secure this wire here a little bit because now it's very close to the mount. So I'll just tidy that up a little bit and obviously shorten it because it will be in about this location now, obviously with the new mount. Obviously there. So that will go to there, and then it will run up into the bulkhead. So yeah, I think that will be when everything's dry and I can put it back together. That'll be one of those stages. The gore back mounting I can leave for a little bit. Goal is to try and get all the front all back on the car now. It's getting there, it's getting close. I say just keep working through all the little bits and pieces really. A little list of things to keep me on with. When those are done, then I can move on to the next bigger jobs really. So yeah. So while I'm at it, I'm just giving everything a clean up. So things like the boost pipe used to have loads of swarf where obviously I've chopped them all down. So I've just given them a clean up on the inside so there's no bits and pieces. So obviously when this goes back on the engine, it won't be sucking anything through. Quite a simple thing really, just rag on a bit of, I've got a bit of welding stick here. Pull it through several times, bit of brake cleaner on it. and keep doing that until it's clean. So I'm going to take the other pipes off, give it all a thorough clean, so that when it all goes back on, because I haven't got any more cutting and modifications to do, it's all going to be clean inside, and it's not going to cause me any like dirt or debris to get in the engine when it's all up and running. So that's the intake parts all cleaned up. I might work at these to give it a bit of a polish, but that's cosmetic, not at that stage yet. So it's all now nice and clean. There's no like debris or stuff inside it. So that'll all be ready to go back on the car. Now obviously I can't put it back together, waiting for the lacquer to dry. So it's pretty much all I can do at the minute. So I think I'm going to leave it there. And then next time I might look at getting some of this wiring done. Or at least the alternator wiring and any earth straps. I think that'll be the next stage. But we'll see how that goes when it comes to the next time I get a chance to work on the car. Alright, I'll see you next time.